Fun fact, I actually bought this guitar 3 years ago as a present to myself. When I saw this signed Lucille at Anderton's in Guildford, I knew I couldn't let it go. Andertons are great friends of the channel, so when this came up, it just felt like a really special opportunity. And the previous owner was the one who got it signed, and I had the chance to hear the story from him about how he met B.B. King. He actually met him the night before the signing at a different show, and when he mentioned that he owned a Lucille, B.B. immediately said, "Oh, I want to sign it." But of course, the guitar wasn't there. So the next night, he went to another show on the tour, this time with the guitar in hand, and got it signed. For me, this wasn't just an investment, it was something deeply personal. I know I make YouTube videos about guitars, but I've always believed a guitar collection isn't just about its value. It's about the stories, the history, and the legacy they carry. And knowing that B.B. King actually touched this guitar, well, that's an honor. Now, if only I could play with even 1% of his soul. I know, I hear you in the comments. That would be pretty special too. So talking of history, just in case you don't know, here's the incredible story of one of the greatest bluesmen of all time. Few have worked so hard and travelled so far as Riley Bluesboy King. Also, if you end up enjoying this video, would you do me a favor and sign up to my newsletter? It's a great place for us to stay in touch, as I have a few other big announcements coming. Okay, back to the video. Born in 1925 on a cotton plantation in Leflore County, Mississippi, King grew up in extreme poverty. When he was 4 years old, his mother left his father for another man, and she tragically died when he was just 10, leaving King's grandmother to raise him. As a teenager, he moved to Indianola in Mississippi, where he found work at a cotton gin. He learned to sing in the gospel choir at Elkhorn Baptist Church in Kilmichael. He was attracted to the Pentecostal Church of God in Christ because of its music, not to mention the fact that the local girls wore their prettiest dresses to church on Sundays. He learned his first guitar chords from the church's minister, who played a Sears Roebuck Silvertone guitar. King served a brief stint in the US Army during World War II, but was released from duty after being ruled as essential to the war economy because of his experience as a tractor driver. Music was his way of escaping the hardship of the cotton fields. Inspired by the likes of Blind Lemon Jefferson and T-Bone Walker, he taught himself the guitar and began appearing on local radio shows, growing a fan base and launching a career that made him one of the most celebrated guitarists of all time. His work ethic was legendary, and he performed over 15,000 concerts in 90 countries over his 6-decade career. Life on the road was an escape from the pain of his past. King's many accolades include an induction into the Blues Hall of Fame in 1980 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. Rolling Stone ranked him at number 6 on its 2011 list of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time, and AllMusic praised him as the single most important electric guitarist of the last half of the 20th century. His closest companion during his time was Lucille, his beloved Gibson L30. Their partnership, according to King's biographer Daniel DeVise, marked the fiery dawn of the guitar era in American popular music. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, B.B. King played the blues on Beale Street, located in downtown Memphis, Tennessee, running 1.8 miles from the Mississippi River to East Street. The street had become a popular destination for musicians from as early as the 1860s. From the 1920s to 40s, legends like Louis Armstrong, Muddy Waters, Albert King, and Memphis Minnie all played on Beale Street and helped develop the style known as the Memphis Blues. Beale Street was where it all started for me, King recalled. He was nicknamed Beale Street Blues Boy, shortened to Blues Boy, and then to BB. He toured Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, Detroit, St. Louis, and the southern states, and it's there that Lucille, his iconic Gibson L30, got her name. And, well, while she was the first Lucille, she wasn't the last. King was booked to play a gig in Twist, Arkansas, in December 1949, 40 miles northwest of Memphis, in a tiny nightclub that King said isn't really a nightclub, just a big room in a chilly old house where the owner has set a tall garbage pail in the middle of the floor and half filled it with kerosene for heat. Well, I get to playing, and the room gets to rockin', couples get to jitterbugging, snake hipping and trucking, and that kerosene is burning hot. I'm up there stoking their fire. The better my beat, the better my tips, singing some barn-burning Pee Wee Creighton blues and having a ball. I hear some scuffling, but don't pay no mind, figuring it's only a couple of extra happy dancers. When the voices get loud, though, I know something's wrong. Two men break out into fighting, throwing punches at each other. One of them crashed into the bucket of kerosene, knocking it over and setting the dance floor alight. Everyone, King included, runs for the door. But when he got outside, he realized he'd left his Gibson inside and he can't afford another. King says, I look at that fire and figure I've got about 1 second to decide. I go for it. Fire all around me, heat unbearable, burning like hell, flames licking my feet, scorching my arms. I find the guitar just as a beam crashes down in front of me, but I got the guitar. Grab it by the neck, jump back over the beam just as a wall collapses, missing my ass and my guitar by a couple of inches. Can barely see the door for the all-roaring fire, put my head down, cradling the guitar in my arms, and make a mad dash for the exit. The black night is a welcome sight. I'm burned on my legs, but the guitar is fine. As he caught his breath, he heard one man tell another, damn, you wouldn't think two guys would near kill each other over a gal like Lucille. He decides there and then to name his guitar after her. I wanted to sustain a note like a singer. I wanted to connect my guitar to human emotions. I liked seeing my guitar as a lady. I liked seeing her as someone worth fighting for or even dying for. I liked giving her a name and an attitude all her own. I sit down with Lucille. I put her on my lap and wait until some happy combination of notes falls from her mouth and makes me feel all warm inside. With the possible exception of real-life sex and a real-life woman, no one gives me peace of mind like Lucille. Couldn't agree more. His style was inspired by Hawaiian musicians whose lap steel guitars tuned in E, A, E, A, C sharp, E produced a sweet sound and allowed them to produce a chord simply by strumming the open strings. That cry sounded human to me, he recalled. He never mastered slide guitar, but found with his strong fingers that he could bend and trill the strings of his Gibson to similar effect, calling his new technique the butterfly. I swivel my wrist from the elbow back and forth, and this stretches the string, raising and lowering the pitch of the note rhythmically. With my other finger stretched out, my whole hand makes a fluttering gesture. A bit like a butterfly flapping its wings. Several of B.B.'s idols had employed vibrato before, but never like this, and Guitar Player magazine asked B.B. if he'd invented it, and he said, "Let's put it this way, I won't say I invented it, but they weren't doing it before I started. B.B. King's signature sound wasn't just about his smooth vibrato or precise phrasing. It was about the way he treated his guitar. Lucille is a second voice. In his autobiography, Blues All Around Me, King explains that he never sang and played at the same time because he saw his guitar as his way of responding to his own vocals. It was a call and response technique rooted in the blues tradition where his voice would deliver emotion and the guitar would echo or amplify it. This separation gave each phrase, whether sung or played, its own moment to breathe and resonate with the listener.
I've been around a long time, really paid my dues. That's all right.
His approach set him apart from other blues guitarists and became one of the defining characteristics of his playing style. In 1980, Gibson launched the B.B. King Lucille model. It features a semi-hollow, double-bound maple body, a maple neck with a bound ebony fingerboard with pearl block inlays, gold hardware, and a 6-way rotary tone selector. The most notable differences between the Lucille and the Gibson 355, on which it is based, are the Lucille script on the headstock, the maple neck, and the lack of F-holes on the top. King specifically requested that there be no F-holes to reduce feedback. It's also got stereo option for the jack inputs and fine tuners, but supposedly B.B. King never actually used them. B.B. King's influence is astonishing, and he's cited as a major inspiration to guitar heroes like Jimi Hendrix, Carlos Santana, and Eric Clapton. Towards the end of his long life, he continued to tour despite his waning health because he felt responsibility to take care of his band. King died at aged 89 in Las Vegas on May 14th, 2015. A farewell note from Barack Obama read, "Through the greatest joys and deepest sorrows, your music has been there, putting into notes the experiences that define us and reminding us of what it means to be alive." Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll be seeing you here again very, very soon.